Hi guys, this is Simon again from the Evans Sound Advice Room, and I'm having the big pleasure to talk to Dexter Hercules right now. It's amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Talking to us. I hope you had a great day so far at the UK Drum Show. Great. You just told me that you did a workshop kind of thing at the Mike Johnston room, right?
Yeah. So we just played. I was doing a masterclass, and I was talking about open-handed drumming, being lefty. Yeah. So it was nice to talk to my fellow lefties, you know. So yeah, man, it was really cool.
Cool. And I saw like you're also doing a workshop tomorrow at the Sound Advice room, and you picked the topic dynamics. Why did you pick it?
I just think it's one of those topics that can be a little bit underlooked sometimes. Just, you know, dynamics doesn't mean just playing everything really loud or really quiet. Like just being able to kind of take it from one extreme to the other and still having control. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about.
Cool. And reading your biography is actually pretty impressive. So you played with a lot of great artists like Rita Ora, Derrick Hodge, Ed Sheeran, and you also did the Voice UK show quite often, I guess. So because I have some drummer friends in Germany, they also play The Voice Germany, and they say it's very intense, actually, from the drumming perspective. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of songs. Like obviously, like when you do these shows, there's like a lot of contestants. So say there's like 100 contestants, and every single song is a different genre of music. You know, like. So you could go 1 minute, you could be playing country, then you could be playing pop, then you could be playing R&B, then you could be playing musical theatre. Like, you know, it depends on who's singing. So it's a lot of songs that you need to learn in a short space of time. And then plus you're doing that, you're live on TV. So no mistakes, one take. And you're reading music as well. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you have to like just be looking around, listening to your MD and try to read the charts. And then, you know, like it can be really intense. It's a great gig, but it feels like work, you know? Yeah.
Wow. And can you tell us a little bit about the early days of your career as like starting playing drums with 3? So I guess there happened a lot until now.
Yeah, I started playing at 3 years old. Kind of mainly self-taught, and maybe like a typical story. Like I had like a small drum kit, and my grandmother bought it for me, and I destroyed that drum kit. And then she saw that I wanted to take it seriously as I got older. Always had like natural rhythm, and yeah, as I got a little bit older, like my kind of early years, like around 9, 10, kind of. My nan bought me a proper drum kit. Yeah.
You remember the brand?
Pardon me?
You remember the brand?
Yeah, CB Drums.
CB Drums.
Yeah, CB Drums. She bought me that, and I used to just wear it out. But up for a long time, I didn't see any professional drummers. So everything that I learned was by listening. I'd never seen drummers, you know, because my background, I grew up playing in church, but like a little bit later in my life. So maybe like the first 10, 11 years of my life, I'd never seen somebody playing drum. I just knew that I could do it. And then as I started to get a bit older, I started to see drummers. And then I was like, oh, you could do this as a job. And it was just something that came natural to me. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of, really fast-tracked, started getting lessons and picked it up from there. But up until, about 10 or 11, I knew I could play and it came natural, but I didn't see anybody. Some people grow up and I have a daughter now, and she would have grown up seeing me play. Yeah. Some people grow up, they have family members playing or different influences. I didn't have anything. I just had records. So I would just learn songs and internalize songs. And then, one day when I started going to church, then I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, so that's kind of how it happened.
Wow, amazing! Like, so you also never took lessons, or did you study?
Yeah, not for a long time. I mean, up until I went to 2 different schools. My first school, there was no drums, no teacher. And then when I moved school, around, like 10, 11, then that school had a drum teacher.
Okay.
And then they started to help me because I could just play, but I didn't know what I was playing.
Yeah.
You know, so then I started to get lessons, and that person was like, okay, this is singles, this is doubles, this is a groove. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can play it, but I didn't know what it was, you know. And then you start to learn. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Nice, but it's a really great way to learn to play musically by yourself, basically, because you listen to the music and then you decide what fits.
By ear, you know, first. So just listening to loads of music that was playing in my house, a lot of roots music, a lot of reggae music, and that kind of thing was playing in my house. So I just learned off of that, and then I started to discover like these different genres of music. Like, you know, I started to discover gospel and jazz fusion and progressive rock and all these. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So then like it just fast tracked, you know, like really quickly. Yeah.
Nice. And how did you then end up playing with, like, you play with Ed Sheeran now again, right? But you also recorded some stuff with him, or is that?
Well, I've done a recording with him, which is a live album, not anything in the studio. But I started playing with Ed 2 years ago. It's been 2 years. Been big crazy tour. We've got to travel the world. It's one of the biggest gigs in the world. So I'm really grateful to be doing it. And just the more gigs that you do, the more people know, the more you become trusted. So I think just a bit of word of mouth. I was saying to somebody earlier, nowadays, it's kind of 50-50 how I get my gigs. Like half of it is like because people contact me online, maybe via social media, and they're like, they may have seen a clip. And then the other half is people who already know me through my reputation, like through my name.
Yeah.
So there's no like right or wrong way to get any gig, but I just tell people like, try and still go to the open mic night so you can meet people in person, but also post things online, because you don't know how you're going to get a gig, it could work either way. So on this occasion, for me, it was like a mixture of a reputation, but then they could see what was online as well. So, yeah.
Okay. And like equipment-wise, you recently got a Pearl Masterworks drum set, right? Yeah, I saw a video. Yeah, it looks really mad, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kit. It's green with like gold lugs. It's just like, it's the best kit I've ever had, man. It's beautiful. It sounds incredible, but it looks incredible as well. So yeah. I'm really happy with that.
And this is also the kit you use on tour with Ed, or you have in general.
I use that kit, but I also use, because we play like 2 different types of shows. So I have an A rig and I have a B rig as well. And
What is the difference?
Well, the A rig is for the stadiums. Okay. So it's the big drums, the big cymbals, like the kind of with the rack. And then the B rig we play in like smaller theaters. One up, one down, simpler. Everything's quite stripped back. So completely different setup, and sometimes I use hot rods, sometimes I use brushes. On that is that we play different styles of songs that he has, so completely different. And then in the stadiums, it's like the big hits, So yeah.
And do you have a lot of freedom in Ed's songs? Because I guess most of his songs, the drums or the percussion is produced. And how do you translate the grooves that are on his records into the live environment?
I mean, for the most part, it's pretty simple. I don't stray too far away from the record. I can put in some nice things here and there, but like, you know, Ed kind of likes things to be pretty simple, so I don't go too far away from that. I can do that stuff like when I'm doing my clinics, you know, like when I do my clinics, or if I'm playing like different styles of music, like I always just play like what's required for whatever it is that I do. And I play like, I still play in church. I was playing in church on the weekend, and then you'll see me, I'll be playing at like Ronnie Scott's in a jazz club, and then I'll be playing pop stuff with Ed, or if I'm playing on The Voice, I'm playing like all of these different styles. So it just depends on what I'm doing that determines how I play. So when it's with Ed, it's just like simple stuff. When it's in church, it's like maybe a little bit more chops, you know?
Yeah.
And when it's like a clinic, then I decide, I get to pick, and nobody can tell me off, you know? So yeah, it just depends.
Yeah. Nice. And what would you say, or what would you tell the people that is an important non-drummer skill you have to learn to stay busy or get busy in the business? Like, you know, like organization or communicating or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Like, I mean, a lot of that stuff is like standard. You should have that anyway. But learning how to listen really quickly and really efficiently. So when you're learning a song, for example, like understand what the drum pattern actually is instead of what you think it is. Because a lot of the time, like you'll have a quick listen to something, and then you'll be asked to play it, and then people will be like, well, that's not actually the pattern. Did you listen to the hi-hat, or did you listen to it exactly? So learning that, but also like just listening, spend your spare time listening to different styles of music, actually listening in. So like, for example, when I do something like The Voice, there'll be moments where they may say, can you play Billie Jean in a Latin style?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or can you play Rock With You in a jazz kind of style? And if you never listen to any jazz records or any Latin records or any rock records, you have no reference of how things sound. So like just being able to listen to loads of different styles, so you have reference points, and then like that way you have the right feel when you're playing stuff. So like just spend time listening to other stuff and appreciating. I spent a lot of time like listening to music that I didn't appreciate, but I still learnt it anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you never know when that moment is going to come where you're going to have to play something that you don't always listen to. You know?
Oh, amazing. That's a good skill to have, like listening. Yeah. Okay. And do you have any future projects or things that are coming up in the near future that you want to talk about?
Yes and no. I've got because I've got some stuff that like I can't say, but I've got some stuff that like I do work on, you know, writing music and producing and stuff like that. So I'm always obviously I've spent, you know, a lot of time on tour, especially the last 2 years. When you're on tour, it's quite hard to get back to your passion project, you know. Yeah. But when I'm finished on the road, I'm able to go back and get in my studio and write songs and get back to doing that stuff, which I love doing. I just have other hobbies. Like I love watching football. I love talking about football. So I'm always like plugged into that, or, you know, just other things as well, you know, family and social life and you know, those kind of things. Yeah.
Cool. Actually, there came just one last question in mind that I wanted to ask, because you're just one of the few drummers that I met that are doing world tours. And I always was wondering how it really feels when you do world tours and you have so many different shows in different countries. How do you handle the jet lag kind of thing?
It's hard, man. It's hard. I don't know, like, it's a pretty difficult one, because sometimes you have to try and force yourself to sleep, but you can't, you know, maybe go to the gym, go for a walk, eat loads of food so you can fall asleep. Like you got to try and exactly. You got to try and do something. But I mean, try to just adjust as quickly as possible. Keep yourself, occupied. Maybe watching films. Me, that's kind of what I do. A lot of time I'll try and go to the gym or work up an appetite. Or just go out and see the town until you get tired. Like, yeah, exactly. So yeah. Man.
Dexter, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing everything. You guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell. We see us again in one of the next videos. Take care.